Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Abner Mars, who fights on October 14th, making his ring return since your win over Jesus Cuellar. First off, Abner, good to see you, man. I haven't talked to you in a little bit. Let me know what's been going on with you and how you've been.
Well, I haven't talked to you business-wise in a while. I saw you at the
We saw each other at the Mayweather-McGregor fight, but nothing fight-related. It was,
exactly. It was just fun, Good, brother. And now we got a fight ahead, October 14th, against, yes, not a well-known fighter, Andres Hernandez, I believe is
Avalos,
no, Chris Avalos, Gutierrez. Exactly. He's not that known. I'm sorry for the mistake on names, but he's
the one. He was the one that was going to fight Frampton, and he fell in the bathtub, and
he got a cut right here.
He knocked both of his teeth out.
I don't know all about that, but I think he got a gash, like a bad cut underneath his chin, and so yeah. So you can remember him. It was the guy that Frampton was supposed to fight a couple of months ago.
Can you imagine that happening to you? Like, do you ever get paranoid, like, the day before?
Yeah, but I don't get paranoid because I don't believe in all that superstitious and all that. Yeah. But it could happen, accidents like that. He slipped and he fell and boom, cut open. And now I believe it happened to Verdejo. I think something similar happened to him. I think he fell in the shower and got injured, so he's not fighting. I don't know exactly the whole details, but again, fighting him, tough opponent, not recognized, but he holds a 36 win record, only one defeat, 25 knockouts. He's ranked number 7. It's no easy fight and no tune-up fight. Whoever is calling it a tune-up fight, maybe Leo is because of his opponent, but I'm not. It's no tune-up fight for me. It's a tough fight, a fight where I'm going to learn a lot and obviously, just make the best of it and then come victorious.
In terms of the Cuellar fight until now, what have you seen as the biggest improvement you feel in your game?
Just not so much improvement because I've been able to get everything out, but just so much change, with the new coach, with the mentality, the believing in myself, just the whole 360 change that I did with the whole camp. It's made me a better fighter, mature. I'm 31 years old. I feel good. I feel strong. I'm sparring 18, 19-year-old, fighters that are good and were good in amateur and are even better now as pros. And being competitive with those fighters, be like, oh, I still got it. I'm still young. I still got that sharpness, and I feel young, bro. Being around these fighters and just the environment I have with Coach Robert Garcia.
You also been sparring Aldo, man. How's that been? Because Aldo's known as a guy who's fast and explosive in MMA.
It was great, man. It was a learning experience for both of us, obviously. Me as a fighter teaching him, and him as an MMA fighter, going forward and being hit by a legend, because that's what he is in his sport, and being able to give a little, to him as far as teaching him, and so grateful. Such a good, humble fighter whom I still have contact with. We exchange numbers, and he should be coming back, and just a good experience with him.
Has he kicked you? Because he's known for his leg kicks. You ever
he kicked me, but I know he dropped. He dropped Misael, my fighder. He got frustrated. He manhandled him, and then next thing you know, boom, he dropped him.
He just dropped him?
Yeah. He sparred Mikey Garcia, and there's a moment where he kind of thought about it, and he's like, he let him go, yeah.
How hard does he hit, though? Because he was known for having power. How is his power?
He's got solid power, obviously. He's a 160, solid fighter. And when he fought Mikey was like, he said, it's like, oh, your punches are hard. And we weren't throwing hard, the guy was just, throwing light because it was a learning sparring session.
I think they're calling us up there, Abner. I want to go ahead and still talk to you, though, so we'll go ahead and continue after the press conference. Abner got to handle his business right here, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, now being joined back with Abner Mars after your press conference duties. When you were up there, Abner, I started thinking. I know you were originally scheduled to face Leo, I think on this date or a little bit before. So when you heard that he wanted to have a tune-up and then go into your fight, what were your initial reactions over that? And is it frustrating that you're not fighting Leo on this date and you're fighting this other opponent?
It was something like this. Threw a tantrum. No, it was like, at first it was like, really? He's doing that? I'm like, is he not thinking about the risks, maybe getting injured, maybe anything can happen, but it just, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't want to add any more. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are asking me, like, is it his fault? Is it your fault? Why didn't the fight happen? You know what?
Because I was thinking, too, you've had a long layoff also, you know? So you're kind of in the same position, but you were still willing to go into it.
Of course. But, yeah. I don't see why not. But, again, you know, now we're focused on this fight. And it's weird. Like, when I first started the press, what I tell him, like, I was hoping to be sitting on the opposite side, you know, hoping that I was gonna face you. But hey, you know, God knows why. You know, the management team knows why, and I guess they're planning something bigger for next year. But if you think about it, it's smarter too, because, come on, if they would have just announced the fight now, to Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, to be, I think it was October 7th, the week before. Talking about 4 or 5 weeks before, you can't do that, you know, like in that type of mega fight. You gotta have more time. So I think it was more business, and then Leo not wanting to yet, that this fight didn't happen. So again, it will happen in time, with this right time and exposure that it needs.
Is it a thing where it's a lot more pressure you feel knowing that you have this fight, but there's this fight, and it's kind of like a tug between the two at all? Because there's a lot at stake, you know. If someone messes, you don't even have to mess up. If he messes up, you know, there goes that fight.
Yeah, it's not. I know it's just like it's cool knowing that you're going straight to that fight. Like, all right, we'll get ready for that big fight. Boom, no biggie. But now knowing that you have to win and beat a guy and come out clean, both of us, like you mentioned, to get that mega fight, it's like, oh man, you know, let's just pray to God everything works out and happens good, you know, on our side, you know, healthy wise, because it could ruin things. But again, you know, we've seen it in boxing many times, many times. Let's not go far. Danny Garcia, when he took a tune-up fight, I don't know, I can't remember against whom.
Rod Salka, he got a lot of hate. Don't fight a Rod Salka, please. Please don't.
We know we're not. But you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, you get those tune-up fights where you're like, man, you know, you're taking that risk, but okay. But here we are, man. Here we are. I'm ready. October 14, StubHub Center. Let's give the fight fans a great show. You know, I can't even talk about Leo anymore because I got Andres Gutierrez in front of me. Tough fighter, comes forward. I did not know of him because he's not recognized. Name is not that big, but he's ranked number 7. He's 36-1, 25 knockouts, 24 years old. He's hungry, bro. He's like, I remember me at that age. I didn't have that good of a record at that age, but well, that many fights. But you're just waiting for that opportunity. That break, like, championship fight. It's gonna be ready, bro. So I'm gonna be ready. Got to be in my A+ game and just please the fans, please myself, and just come out of there victorious.
Do you think you have a tougher fight than Leo?
Paper-wise, yeah. It's all written, bro. You could see it's a more difficult fight. But again, you know, styles make fights. We don't know. I could maybe take him out before. Maybe he could take him to 12 rounds. Maybe he goes to 12 rounds. You know, you never know. Fights get difficult once you're in there. But on paper, I think I do have the most difficult fight. Looking at the first fight, and the one thing that stuck out to me the most, outside of the atmosphere, because it was a crazy atmosphere when you guys fought. It was one of those things that it always stayed with me because there was a lot of energy that night. I remember you came out the first round and you came right to Leo, and I was like, Abner, dude, what are you doing? Like, why don't you box this kid? You know? Yeah. Now, learning from the lesson of that fight, seeing what you did against Cuellar and the powers there too, you dropped him. Will you fight differently, you think, the second time around? Of course. And it's not even a strategic way to say, like, okay, I'm going to fight different. He knows I'm going to fight different because you mentioned, bro, it's like I went out there just wanting to destroy this guy. I don't know what got into my head. I just wanted the crowd. I mean, we're talking about, I think it was like 14,000 people. It was packed. The atmosphere was just people screaming. It was like a divided crowd, and it was great, bro. And I just wanted to get this guy out so bad that I forgot about the game plan. And not only that, your emotions get the best of you, bro, and they tire you out too. Because I trained hard for that fight. I had good conditioning, but I go back to that fight and I seem tired. I got tired. Just the emotions, everything, bro. Like, it takes a lot out of you. And so with that being said, I got tired. I fought the wrong game plan. He got into my head once he started landing the long jabs. He got his distance. Like, what's going on, you know? But, you know, I will get my redemption soon.
We hope to see that fight really soon, and we hope that you come out victorious, Leo comes out victorious, and we see that because, like I mentioned, that was a crazy atmosphere when you had that fight, and it was a good fight. It was an exciting fight. It was a really action-packed fight. As always, Abner, man, good seeing you, bro. As always, thank you so much. Fights on Fox coming up October 14th. Don't miss it. Should be a good one.